welcome to the Empire Deluxe Combined Edition stream. This is Mark Kincaid, and I'm here to show you just a few things that are currently going to be released in the current beta AC, which I'm planning to get out to Wave 1 very soon. Wave 2 will probably happen this week. Most of the Wave 2 people got a note a couple of weeks ago that they were going to participate in Wave 2, and I think very soon we will be pulling the lever for that. But there's a lot of very small changes that have been put into this build, and so I want this to be vetted for a couple of days before we start the next attack, shall we say. So here, let me find the game and switch over to that. There we are. And so what I'm going to show you may not be very exciting. I've written down, this time I've written down a list of the things that I want to show you, and so we're just going to kind of run through a couple of screens and look at a couple of things, and that'll be the update. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is move this over here so that I can see everything. You get all these windows when you're streaming. Okay, so let's go ahead to the new game area. We're going to look at the new game, and a little bit has changed, not so much, but you can see up here I've gotten a lot of good feedback from the testers, and one tester had suggested that we generate some names for this, and I found famous battles and famous wars that can be generated, and so you're able to come up with, if you don't want to name it, then you can name it there. That's a bug right there. I'm missing a font that I have to chase down, but there you go. So these are the names that you can have. Down here for the player selection, we have something new. It's called the turn text, and this basically will allow you to control what the text is going to look like on the turn indicator, based on the, this is based on the foreground with the number text, because some people like, shall we say, darker colors. They like to put it down to very dark something, and then it becomes illegible. So you're able to change the turn text so that it is this much brighter color. I wonder if I could brighten these up, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so there's our unit there. We'll try this with the dark green and yellow on top, and so that's pretty much changed. The only other thing that I would point out is that we have added some key presses to some of the dialogues. These are never going to be fully key standard functional, and most of the attention is on the stuff in the game. I don't know if you can see it here, but when I hit tab or an arrow key, you get different buttons on the bottom to go into focus. But and then enter will also do something about it. But so we've got those key controls in place, and that is where that is. So let's go ahead and start this game. I'm not really going to play. Like I said, this is going to be a very short presentation, but I want to show it just the same. See, here's my color. Here you can see up here the turn text is colorized differently, and you take a look at this. So if I go to production, okay, I don't necessarily like this color, but that's okay. Go to production now. Like everything else, or I'm trying to make a lot of it, you can see I can arrow key to change my selection, and a different arrow key here than I'm doing can do changes and commit those. And so you can actually change what you want to produce and close it without ever touching the mouse. So hopefully that will help people along. And then here's another thing. At the end of a turn, you can say that you want to control when the turn ends for that particular turn, but we're not going to do that here. Okay, so here's my unit. He's looking very yellow. We're just gonna come over, and I'll show you with the keys only. I can review this, and I can set the production, hit space, and I can continue. So production and other dialogues now have arrow or shall we say keyboard control to some degree. Like I said, they will never be complete, but it helps the flow of the game. So the next thing that we have in here, if I can show you some of the key binds that I have going here, is down here I have scrolling. So we have map scrolling here, and map scrolling, basically I've only set it up for left and right, up and down. So with map scrolling, what you can do is, once again, just arrow keys to move your map back and forth, up and down. So there, I don't have zoom bound right now, although we do have zoom keys, but I don't have them bound. Anyway, so so that's the map scrolling. Wanted to show that a little bit. Okay, so we've got some armies here, and so I want to show you my group mode. Okay, so I have added group mode. I wasn't going to do that, but everybody is always bugging me for that, and it's a cool feature, and I'm glad that we've got it like this. Basically, you enter group mode. It's one of the unit commands. You enter group mode. You can click on a square. You click on another square, and that makes your box. And then once your box is made, you'll see you have a few orders are highlighted. Home, Sentry, Clear, Explore, Disband, Sleep, Dig In or Dig Out, and also I could click on the map and order everything in the square to move. There is no filter here, but everything will move. So I can like, for example, we'll start with Sentry. So boom, they're sentried. Okay, I can go on, I can make another one, bring him over here, and then I can say he's gonna join the group, although there's only, there's no group per se, but I can use the group command to quickly sentry all of them if I want, or if I want to move them back to the city, I can do the group command here and tell them all to go home. Okay, and they're gonna go back home. Now I'll sleep this guy, sleep these three, wait for somebody else to come up. And so now we've got a bunch of guys. We can take a look here. We've got a bunch of guys. Ooh, actually no, I could show you. The other command was on a good suggestion. We had activate host and child. If you're in a city, activate child will scroll you. I think it's hard to see, but you see up in the status bar, will scroll you through different, down here it's visible, scroll you through different siblings of the host, and then activate host in a city will bring up the production menu. Alright, so anyway, so we have all these guys, and once again we'll apply our group mode, and now I'm going to tell them to move like over here. And so all I do once I've done the group box is I click on the location, and they will head that way. So that's very exciting. And then they've all made it here. Maybe at this point I think they're in a defensive position, and so I can draw my group box once again, and I'm going to tell them all to dig in. And so it takes a turn for them to dig in, so I can move this guy in there. They've almost all of them. One of them didn't have the movement, and so he wasn't able to do it, so he's going to have to be dug in manually. Alright, so I'll dig him in. Okay, so there's these guys. What else can I do, or what else do I want to show you? What I have, basically with group mode, you draw your box once again by the first square, and then you make it. If you don't like your box, you have to click on the last box square, and then you can redraw that. And if you don't like your first square, you can take that away and then try again. Then once you have it, you enter the command. Let's say this is a dig out. There they are. And maybe I just don't like my units today, so I can go over here, select everything, and disband all 8 units, and they're gone. And then I start all over again. It's good for reducing my drain, though, I suppose. other things, let me see on my list that I have to show you. Oh yes, is that we have now the command display can be hidden or shown. I have it bound to Control C. For those of you that like the mouse, you can come over here in the lower left and click on this little button here to hide and show the controls. Alright, and then so this has been really cool because if you're once again a keyboard player, then you can play with the full screen map going, and it's worked out very nicely. And you can do various things. And now that we have the production keys are bound, see, I can do all of this by hand. I didn't have to touch the mouse at all to do any of that. Of course, I do the mouse so much I have to think. But hopefully that'll work out for a lot of you keyboard types that really like to do that sort of thing. So there is that. So we had the show high controls. I think I showed you the map scrolling. Oh yes, and we want to go to the let me send this guy home. And I guess I need my controls back for this because I don't have this key bound right now. But we have view units in Loc, and this had been frozen before, but they convinced me that this is a good idea to be able to activate the host units even if it's a city or a base. And so clicking on activate, of course, will call up the production menu for that. This inspires me that I want to build an engineer real quick. Yeah, these colors are just driving me crazy. Here we go. We'll just build up some infantry here while we wait for our engineer to come. I don't want that guy. Okay, I think he got built. Okay, so let me turn off the production on these guys. See, I'm back to the mouse. But let me come out here. He's going to come out here. I'll fly this guy over here. I think I've got that key bound. I do. And I want to build an air base. So there's an air base. And we'll move him down here and he'll build a port or something. Just gonna pause this bomber. Okay, so there's our engineer. Has successfully built the air base. And once again, I can activate the host. I can go around. I can view the units. I can make a selection and activate the base again and go back to the base menu. So it's things like that. There's some good moving around there, a little better navigation through things. And I think that's probably all I want to show at this point. I didn't want this to be too long. I don't know how long I've been going. Ooh, about 15 minutes, so I'm already too long already. But that's the game. I see a couple of people are in. But unless anybody has any questions, I'm just going to call it here. But it's been very busy. Been getting a lot of work done, and very happy with how it works. Let's see. For this build, I don't have my keys bound very much. Alright, so that's it. So I'm going to call this, and once again, I want to thank you very much for tuning in when you get a chance, and we'll see how it progresses. Thank you again. tell you what, tonight I will try to come online and test for a while. So I will try to play a test game this evening. So thank you very much for participating, and we'll see you later.